Welcome back to the Ross Bolin podcast presented by Bolin Media. I am Ross Bolin, and today I am reunited through the power of technology with the maker of the finest American-made F1 content in the world, the host of the hottest American-made F1 show in existence, Jared J-Bone Borislow. Jared, how are you?
Welcome back to the Ross Bolin podcast. I'm your host, Ross Bolin. I still think that sounds like you. I don't know if I'm just like hearing what I want to hear, but
Maybe it does sound like... I've always thought it was a terrible impression, but maybe it does. I don't know. We'd have to get a third party opinion.
we do. It's good to be back. It's very weird to me to think back and be like, we used to do this 3 times a week for 2 years, a year and a half. It's like actually, but it feels very normal. Feels very correct to be back here, although I'm not facing you in those $2,000 Italian-made vintage chairs that we bought for some reason.
Yeah. Those go completely unused now. Those Italian, fine Italian lounge chairs that we had in every single video for like almost 2 years. Yeah. Now they're just in the living room at Bolin Media, and literally no one ever sits in them except for Bruce. So they're just...
Yeah, you know why? It's because they're not very comfortable. It turns out back in the 1960s, they were more focused on like sexual harassment than they were on making comfortable chairs.
Yeah, those are chairs for fucking.
It's also funny, like the way we got those chairs, we were like, we need to get cool chairs that are really gonna pop in all of our clips. And then the only time I ever rode with you in your Tesla, we went up to this vintage store up in North Austin, and we were like, you looked at them and went, they're cool, but they're too expensive. And then the next day, you're like, yeah, I bought those. I wonder if Italian vintage chairs are like Italian wine. Do you think they are appreciating in price?
I'm concerned that inflation has probably canceled out any appreciation in price that may have occurred.
Yep, chairflation is actually why I'm voting for RFK Jr.
Actually, multiple times now I've had people recommend that we sell them back to the, because that place would probably, they're in like perfect condition still.
Yeah.
But there's something about it, I can't let them go. Like, I have no place for them. They're, like I said, totally unused except for Bruce sitting on one of them. But I can't let go. It's like maybe you farting into them so many times in the same room as me is like, there's something special about that I want them forever,
That's got to be why Bruce likes to sit on it, because he knows that I saved his life.
Yeah, and you can smell your ass.
I'll never forget when I stood atop that hill and looked down and saw him, and he smelled my ass right away, and that's why he didn't run away. He was comforted by the smell.
Jared, how's the summer been treating you?
Well, as I now live in Milwaukee, for those of you who haven't tuned in the last year, I have to do as much as I can in between the months of May and October, because after that, you're pretty much indoors the entire time. So it's been a big summer
because of the cold and the snow.
Yeah, because of the cold and the snow. I mean, fall is great. You go outside during fall, but like, golfing in fall, there's so many leaves that you can't find your ball very easily. So it's not as fun because you hit it in the rough and there's a billion leaves. And it's like impossible to find because it just goes under a leaf. But I only hit it in the fairway, so it's fine. I've been playing a lot of golf this summer. You'll be happy to know that I have 3 rounds in the 80s this year after having 1 round in the 80s in the previous rest of my golf existence.
Wow.
A lot of YouTube and TikTok golf tutorials. They're helping out. Currently unfortunately sitting at like a 18.3 handicap or something. My goal is to never get above 18, never get above the 18.9 mark. And we're doing good. We're doing good. Just shot a 90 my last round. Been playing disc golf. Of course,
you're
as you know
doing
me.
Both golfs now.
Yes.
Disc golf and real golf.
Ball golf, we call it. It's disc golf and ball golf.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. And just remember, thank you very much for not saying frisbee golf or frolf, because as we all know, frisbee is a trademark owned by the Hasbro Corporation. Used to be Whammo, sold the rights to Hasbro, so you can't say frisbee or frisbee golf. I've also been, as I told you last time, still in my sourdough era, big time sourdough era. As I am up here, working alone, just grinding F1 content a lot, the sourdough keeps me company. The millions of yeast bacteria are my friends, they're my allies, and I would die for them, and they die for me because I do kill them in the oven every time I bake with them. But it's been a great summer, Ross. It's been truly phenomenal. Excited for the rest of it. I got a lot of weddings coming up, so that'll be interesting. But how about you, Mister Two Kids, Mister Gets Sick all the time from his two kids? What's going on with you?
Okay, well, first of all, on that note, I haven't been sick in like I want to say like a couple of months. But I did have a really bad case of poison ivy early in the summer. I don't know if you were privy to that.
What happened with that? Did you not put Tech New on or what?
I took one night off from parenting for the first time since RJ was born. I left him with my mother-in-law, and my wife and I went to an Airbnb in I don't know, one of the small towns in Central Texas, the name of which is slipping my mind at the moment. But the point is, I think I sat in a chair that someone else who had gone hiking and gotten poison ivy all over their body sat in. So they transferred the poison ivy to the chair. And then when I sat in the chair, I got the poison ivy all on the underside of my legs.
Okay. I was under the impression you had done some sort of physical activity.
No. That's the beauty of it. We didn't even like go hiking. We walked 20 yards to like this spot where you can see the sunset, and they have two chairs set up that are like communal for anybody in this camping space, basically, to go. It was glamping. We were glamping, Jared.
Yeah. I got
and
you.
Anybody in the camping space can go and sit in these two chairs, and some other asshole who had gone frolicking through the forest and covered their whole body in poison ivy and was probably not even allergic, so they don't even know. They must have sat in the chair, and then I sat in the chair because it was only on the under my knees, dude. Like one of the worst spots you could get it. And then it kind of spread all down because I was sweaty, you know? So it like spread down my legs. Anyway, that ruined about 3 weeks of my life, which was a good chunk of summer.
And so you can confirm right now on the record, this is not a herpes cover-up story.
No, this was straight up contact dermatitis, and I've had it thrice now in my life. Once in 2011, the first year I moved to Austin, actually got that one golfing. I hit my ball into the woods, as I am wont to do, and when I reached in to get the ball, I got it all over my arm. And you know, you don't notice. You don't fucking notice. Like it take every time I've gotten poison ivy, it's like 5 days before it hits me.
Yeah.
So you don't notice and like immediate. Oh no, I touched the poison ivy. Better wash my arm off, or like wash the underside of my knees. You don't know.
As someone who played an unbelievable amount of nighttime disc golf, and you know, I'd oftentimes throw my discs at night into the forest when you can't identify poison ivy, but I didn't care. I just walked in and got it. I thought I was one of those people who was not allergic. So I was like, surely by now, with all the times I've gone into the forest where I know courses that have poison ivy and I've never gotten it, I was like, I'm totally fine. And then one time it happened, and it was absolutely terrible. And I only had on my leg like probably 2 blotches, neither one bigger than like a square inch. And I was so upset for a week. So I can't even imagine behind the knees.
It was so bad.
And down the leg sounds absolutely terrible.
It was so bad. You're saying you had 2 like smaller than a dime sized blotches. It makes me want to kick you right in the head, because this was my whole leg basically got taken over. It was awful. So that sucked. I did get to go play golf once for the first time since 2020.
Doesn't sound like you.
It was for Dave Ruff's 40th birthday. And
what'd you do?
What?
What did you shoot?
It was scramble, so you know.
Okay.
But
how many of your shots did they take?
More than I thought we would. That being said, my group was me, Barrett, and Dan.
Oh, Dan! How'd Dan do?
Dan did okay. Not as well as I had hoped he would, but we shot. I think we were -4 when it was all said and done. There was 3 groups. We got second out of the 3, which is better than last.
So our friend Dan, for those of you who don't know, I don't know why you would know this. He has a hockey grip. He never even grew up playing hockey. The only reason he has it is because he used to work at the Golf Channel, and they had a simulator at Golf Channel. And so his entire MO was, I'm just going to hit the ball as hard as I can. And he realized he could do that with a hockey grip. And then he forgot how to do a regular grip, and he wanted to hit piss missiles on the course. So now he still has a hockey grip. And there is, in the U.S. Amateur that's going on right now, there is a guy who's really good who uses the Dan grip, where your hands aren't even touching and your like right hand is like underneath and like hooked around. It looks so dumb, but Dan has now been validated.
Not a classically trained golfer, Dan. He's
no.
Yeah, he's got his own swing and his own style. But we did okay. It was big picture. It was really, really fun. And although it was hot as shit, I had a blast, and it made me wish I played more golf. It had been so long since I played that when I went and got my bag, I left my putter at home, completely forgot the putter, so I didn't have a putter the entire 18 holes. And then I found 2 random clubs in my bag that aren't mine. I guess from the last time I played in 2020, somebody else had mistakenly put them in my bag, which is literally impossible because my bag is a giant tour bag from Callaway Golf, like that a professional golfer would have, which I am not. Anyway, that was weird. I have somebody's 4-iron and 6-iron, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. This brings up a really. I've been meaning to talk to you about this. Thank you for bringing this up. The year was probably 2017. You and I were talking about golf, probably while recording Freeze on Motor Functions or something. And afterwards, I had talked that I was going to buy a new hybrid. And you said, J-Bone, I have so many random clubs that I don't ever use. Come look in my trunk and just take a hybrid. And I found this hybrid that I was like, oh, this looks sick. It's like an exotics hybrid. I don't know. It looked decent. And I like it. I hit it a decent amount. And then like a year ago, I looked at it and there's just some random guy's name on this club. I don't know who this guy is. I've never heard of it. It's like his name, his phone number, and his country club.
He's dead. That guy died. He died. It's not funny that he died.
Who is this?
Look, the story. I'm laughing because the story is funny and.
What am I doing?
Look, it was my. This is gonna make it so much worse. It was my mom's boyfriend. Look, the guy was a huge golfer. I'm crying. He gave me a ton of clubs. So I had all these clubs, but he didn't take the tag off any of them. The little circular tape tag with his fucking name and phone number in the club. And no, he got sick. He got cancer, and he ended up passing away. But like, I have so many of these. Even when I went and played the other day, like I pulled out a club and it had his name on it. It's just like this weird reminder. Anyway. Yeah, that he's no longer with us, so he doesn't mind is the point, I promise. Okay. I didn't rob somebody.
Yeah, I didn't know if this was like a robbery situation or you like found it at the course and kept it or something. That's what I was most worried about.
No, I knew him. I knew him.
Okay. Yeah. What was his name? First name?
Well, I'm not gonna put him on blast on the podcast.
Well, I was gonna shout him out, but shout out to that guy. Rest in peace. I did use his club recently in the best hole I ever played. I had a 20-foot birdie putt on a 575-yard par 5. Hit like a 220-yard hybrid shot. Shout out to the man who can't be named.
See, you're part of his legacy now.
That's okay. Well, that makes it, honestly, I think I'll play better with that club now, knowing that it's not only I got it like correctly, but also that he would want me to be playing with it.
I wonder if every time one of us uses one of his clubs, because there's like dozens of us now, I've given out so many of these clubs. We're like a fraternity and we don't even know it. But I wonder if his ghost like comes and helps with that one shot. You know?
Yeah. Like
he puts a little more oomph into it. Like his spirit embodies you for a moment.
Angels in the fairway.
This is a movie. This could be a movie. This is a movie script we just came up with. Guy passes away. His clubs get scattered across the United States. And then all the different men who get his clubs, they find their way to each other. And they form a cult where they worship his ghost.
When you said that the person whose club it was dead, my biggest worry at that point was that it was the guy who you found dead in the parking lot, and he just like stole his golf clubs out of his car while you were waiting.
I'm getting something for this. I'm leaving the scene with something. No, it wasn't that guy. I don't think that guy was a golfer. He didn't strike me as a golfer during our brief interaction, and by our brief interaction, I mean me pumping on his cold dead corpse while the fucking. Man, imagine tuning in for this episode and not having any knowledge of like the stories that we're referencing right now. That would be
Like, wow,
I found a dead guy
there's
once.
2 tragic deaths they laughed about in the last 3 minutes alone.
Yeah, look,
What's
sometimes you got to laugh to keep from crying, and then sometimes that laughter makes you cry too. Okay, so Jared, it's the last week of the F1 summer break before you get back into full Formula Bone mode. What's the first race after the break?
The Dutch Grand Prix at Zandvoort, Max Verstappen's home race.
Ooh. Do you think he will return to winning ways?
It's very hard to say right now. So here's, for those who have not been keeping up with F1, this is far and away the best season in years. The only season in recent history. I'd say the only season since probably 2012 or 2013 that's as good as this season was 2021, which is the classic season, Max Verstappen versus Lewis Hamilton, and the whole controversy surrounding that. The reason why that season was so good is it was a 2-person fight, Max versus Lewis and Red Bull versus Mercedes. 2 teams versus 2 drivers. Everybody else totally inconsequential. Yes, there were 4 other drivers who won races that season, but they were one-offs. They had never had a shot at winning either championship. This season, there could end up being a 4-way fight for the Constructors' Championship if Ferrari and Mercedes, if Mercedes just keep doing what they're doing, then they'll be in the fight. Ferrari need to pick it up a little bit. But either way, McLaren, Red Bull, and Mercedes are all looking like they could be fighting for the Constructors' Championship. The Drivers' Championship, Max Verstappen started the season off so well that he'll probably end up winning it. He'd have to have a couple races that he didn't finish, which is very possible. And he also has some more engine penalties coming up, so he could have some races where he doesn't do as well. But so this season, why you should watch this season regardless of if Max wins and is not even close in the drivers is because next season is going to literally be the best season probably since 2008 or 2009. Next season is going to be essentially this season, but closer, because there's one more season left in the current engine regulations. The further you get into the engine regulations, the closer all the teams get, because the worst teams get more time to develop than the better teams do in the off season. So they get more wind tunnel time, and they get more developmental time to work on their cars. So they get more time to catch up, and the longer you get to catch up, the closer you get, which is why McLaren and Mercedes are so good right now relative to Red Bull. McLaren is faster than Red Bull right now. They would be winning the Constructors' Championship if they didn't mess up 4 races that they should have won. It's totally their fault. Mercedes is just kind of slow and steady, and they're doing really good. So next season, I have no idea. Literally, I would not even place a bet based off of Red Bull, McLaren, Mercedes, and Ferrari on who's going to win.
Are you saying?
And next season, Lewis Hamilton's going to Ferrari.
Are you saying anything is possible?
Literally anything is possible. Like I said, this season is going to have a better Constructors' Championship battle for sure. If we end up getting a Max Verstappen versus Lando Norris Drivers' Championship battle, then this season will be better than 2021, as long as it comes down pretty close. Yes, I will admit 2021's final race did have Lewis and Max tied on points going into it, which never happens ever. That was crazy. And that singular race is definitely always going to be better than anything this season. But as a whole, there have been 7 winners this season already in the first 14 races. And there were 6 winners all of 2021. There's already more winners.
Much more parity. Parity is crazy. Good. Parity is good for professional sports, if you didn't know this.
Yeah.
You don't want just the same person or team winning every single time. It's incredibly frustrating for all of the other competitors and their fans. When the Golden State Warriors were winning every year, that was hell for everybody else who wasn't a Warriors fan. The parity in F1 right now, it's the greatest that it's been since I started following it as a result of you covering it.
I am trying to quote all my facts I come up with correctly. I believe that the only season to have more winners in the last 20 years than this season was 2008, when they had 8 winners, and we are 1 winner away from tying that. And if we get 2 more winners, it'll have the most F1 race winners in decades. So we're truly, for the first time since I started watching F1, going into races not knowing which 3, it used to be Max or Lewis is going to win. Right now, I literally, any of these 7 people could win any race. Any of these 8 people, but sorry, Checo, I don't think you can win right now. Checo stinks.
Wow. Well, follow Jared at Formula Bone, Bone, on all the social platforms, and subscribe on youtube.com/@FormulaBone to keep up with his F1 coverage during the back half of the season. Or I guess it's not really half, but The remainder
pretty
of the
much,
F1
it's like one or
season.
two races behind half. Yeah, it's kind of weird like that.
Remainder of the F1 season. Take care of some business really quick, Jared. When I'm working out, there are a few essentials that I absolutely must have. My headphones for my music, my water bottle with my supplements mixed in, and my Fitbod app on my phone. Today's episode is brought to you by Fitbod. Fitbod is a fitness app that creates completely personalized workouts that adapt as you improve. Whether you are a seasoned gym goer or just starting your fitness journey, the essential your workout really needs is Fitbod. It's like having your own personal trainer, but better. It's cheaper. You can work out anywhere with or without equipment. It's easy to build a custom fitness plan that works for you. Also, it doesn't yell at you or sweat on you or give you awkward motivational speeches when you're just trying to get some fitness in. I've been using Fitbod for over 2 years now, and it's legitimately awesome. I did my 210th Fitbod workout this week. Before I started using Fitbod, I did the exact same workouts every time I worked out for years. And that mundane repetition wasn't really doing anything for my body. I plateaued very hard. But since I started using Fitbod, I've transformed my body, Jared. You would love it if you were here to see it.
I'm trying to do I'm enjoying what I'm seeing based on your pecs up right now.
Yeah, it's really nice. I've got a lot going on that I didn't last time you were here in physical person. Fitbod is the future. It has everything you wish those other apps had. It's honestly been one of the most positive additions I've ever made to my life. Maybe my favorite sponsor this show has ever had. Fitbod is an essential part of my routine every week, no exaggeration. It adapts as I progress, and because it lets me rate each exercise within my workout, it learns how difficult or easy it was for me, and it adjusts accordingly, lets me set a goal of 4 workouts a week, helps me hold myself accountable to my fitness journey. And if you're like, Ross, I don't know anything about working out, I'm like, Jared, all I do is throw a disc and play golf. Sad, very unfair. Don't worry about that. With each lift or movement, Fitbod gives you a video, multiple videos from multiple angles, really, to see exactly what you're supposed to be doing, as well as providing a text description for each movement so you're never lost and you feel confident when you're doing your lifts. Add Fitbod to your workout essentials. Join Fitbod today to get your personalized workout plan. Get 25% off your subscription, or try the app for free at fitbod.me/Ross. That's fitbod.me/Ross.
I want people to know that
link in the description.
Yeah, link in the description. You literally use Fitbod all the time. You post about it on Instagram constantly. It's like you use this thing more than I've ever seen you use maybe any sponsor.
I'm a fitness influencer now. Everybody knows that about me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to get huge. Jared, we've gotten to spend so little time really even talking since you moved to Wisconsin. So I found a great couples vacation spot for you and me and our wives to go to so we can reconnect. It's a lovely Airbnb in Broken Bow, Oklahoma, which is, everybody knows, Broken Bow, world-renowned, and really just the whole state of Oklahoma, world-renowned as a vacation spot for couples.
I don't know if I've ever heard of such a city, but is there a casino there maybe?
I couldn't tell you. I just know it's infamous.
Okay.
Yeah, so click on the link I just sent you.
Infamous for what?
You're about to find out. Click on the link I sent you so you can check out this Airbnb. And if you're listening, just Google search for me, Kink Erotic Red Sunset Airbnb. It'll be the first thing that pops up.
Huh?
Jared, don't judge. And take a look at this thing while I read you the description, and then we'll talk about some of the photos. It says, welcome to Red Sunset, where all your 50 Shades of Grey fantasies come true. Jared, don't judge. This cabin is curated for consenting adults, 25
Why
plus.
is it so red?
That are looking, because it's the Red Sunset. They're looking to explore their desires and indulge in activities that you only see in movies. This 3-story cabin features 1 king master bedroom with an ensuite bathroom and balcony. The kitchen and living room have a jukebox, poker table, and wood-burning fireplace. See, those things sound nice. Downstairs, you will find a red room with a swing, a cage, a pole, and other spicy amenities. Now, if you start to peruse the photos that are provided on Airbnb, which once again you can find by Googling Kink Erotic Red Sunset Airbnb, the only thing that's going to pop up is in Broken Bow, Oklahoma, world-renowned area for lovers to travel together. The entire place is something out of either a nightmare or a fever dream. But the pictures that... Dude, the bedroom, the photo of the bedroom for this joint has whips and chains and handcuffs on it.
They excite me.
which excite all of us, yes. But you really got to get to the photos of the red room itself to see what we're working with here, dude.
Go to the bathroom photo. Go to the bathroom photo.
Which
Look
one?
at the towel.
Oh my
Look
God.
at the one that the mirror is in like the middle right.
Oh,
Look at
you mean
one
the towel that's labeled cum rag?
Yes.
Yeah, that's all of the towels in the house have.
Who do you think the owner of this Airbnb does the wash? Because imagine you're like, hey, I need to hire somebody to come clean my Airbnb, and you come, that's pun unintended, and you you go, oh, I need to wash this. It says cum rag. Do you wash it with other stuff? That seems like a solo wash situation. Because
Yeah.
if you wash it, it's just going to wash all of the jism onto everything else that's in the washer.
You're asking a really good question here, because one, I appreciate that they label the cum rags cum rag, that it's like embroidered into the towel so that there's no question about which towels are to be used for cum and which towels are to be used for everything else that towels are used for, because you don't want any crossover there. But the question you're asking, does the owner clean this joint themselves, or is there a cleaning crew that rolls through this sex dungeon and has to sterilize the entire thing? Because one of the things I noticed when reading through the reviews, it's my guess is that the owner has requested that when people write reviews, they mention the cleanliness, because that would be your concern and should be our concern as we plan our vacation to the spot, is do they clean it well enough? Because this place has to be, if you take a black light to this place, it has to just glow.
It's going to look like a Jackson Pollock painting.
Like they have one of the things on the wall, if you scroll down in the photos and get to the red room, that Theon Greyjoy was hooked up to when that dude was torturing him.
The flayed man or something?
Yeah. It looks exactly like that you can strap your lover or
it is
torture
it is
victim
that,
to.
in fact.
And I guess hit them with stuff. I'm not really sure what but there's also some interesting setup here. Like there's a sex swing prominently featured in the same room as the giant flayed man situation. And then there are two couches facing the sex swing.
And the stripper pole.
As if there's an audience.
There's also the stage. The stage has another couch, so I guess that's where you sit for the stripper stuff. But there's also the cage is what's tripping me out. That's a cage. That's like a literal cage.
Yeah, for like a wild animal.
Yeah.
And it's got handcuffs in it, and this is obviously where I would stick you at night for sleepy time, because I feel like you'd be most comfortable in there.
Okay, we haven't talked about the best. Wait, okay.
There's a milking table.
It's exactly what I was about to say.
Where you can get milked. It has two holes. One is for your face and one is for your junk, so that somebody can get underneath the table and milk you like a cow.
There's milk. It's from, if you watch Dave, one of my favorite scenes in recent years is the end of that episode of the milking table. There's also in the bathroom, there is a massive neon sign that just says, "Please don't do coke in the bathroom."
Yes, and then important to note, in that same bathroom, there is a rug on the ground that says, "I need a spanking."
Well, there's what appears to be either a vibrator or a butt plug in the bathroom. I don't know how clean that's got to be.
It does look like I think that's a vibrator, but it could certainly be put in someone's ass.
I'm sure it has been, knowing this place.
Every chair in every room in the red room area, including the bathroom, has straps on it. So like you can just be strapped in literally anywhere.
Honestly, if there's an earthquake, probably this is like a good place to be.
That's a great point too. Yeah, this is probably the safest room on earth if you're in an earthquake, because it looks like it is down below, in fact.
Yeah.
You go downstairs to get to this. And it's honestly super weird to go from the photos of the red room, this torture chamber, this sex dungeon, back up to the upstairs, where for the most part it is a fairly normal Airbnb.
Yeah, if you look at the aerial photography, this looks like a really great place to glamp.
You would have no idea.
Except it wouldn't be poison ivy you're getting there, Ross.
No, it'd be one of the other much more treacherous diseases.
If the place you glamped at, somebody left poison ivy for you to catch, what's somebody leaving here for you to catch?
Chlamydia. there's like in the kitchen, there's like a nice, like a Lazy Susan. And then on the Lazy Susan, there's something that just says nutsack on it. So there are like signs around the house, things that let you know like this isn't quite a normal place, but really it's fairly average until you go down to the old sex dungeon, which is not labeled as such on the site, I would note. It's labeled additional photos.
The owner of this has to be the horniest person on earth.
Cumrag. Yeah, and this is a great concept. It's just my fear is the cleanliness of it. So let's read some of the reviews. Here's one from Cassie. And if you go to the reviews section, it's fucking hilarious because it's all very, very average looking white couples leaving reviews.
I didn't even think about that. It's public reviews.
Yeah, it's only your first name, but they have a little photo with it. And on almost all of them, it's like a man and a woman, middle-aged man and a woman, and they're like just the most average white people you could possibly imagine. You have no idea that they get this freaky. Here's one from Cassie. This space is thoughtfully curated and has all the things you would want for an unforgettable time. The house was amazing from top to bottom. I think she did a little something there at the end with top and bottom. Thoughtfully curated is exactly the words I think of too when I look at the photos of this place. Here's Blake's review. Our dreamy getaway, impeccably clean, incredibly cozy, and deliciously spicy. In short, our stay at this exotic cabin was everything we had hoped for and more. It was the perfect blend of cleanliness, comfort, and a touch of spice that made our getaway truly special. If you're looking for a place to reconnect with your loved one or simply escape the everyday grind, this cabin is an absolute gem. And then there's a guy named Dan who just wrote, awesome time for my wife and I. That's his whole review. And then a dude named Colton said, great time, great amenities, very private, very secluded. I did not want to leave. And I'm fairly certain Colton committed a murder on this premises. So that's the spot I'm going to take us for our getaway, Jared.
Wow.
Yeah. Are you excited?
It's $500 and $4.99 a night. Minimum 3 nights.
Right. And like, can you put a price on everlasting memories with your closest friends and family?
I don't know. It's $2,000. So that might be a bit much. Like, I think you could.
We'll put it on the company. We'll put it on the company and it's a tax write-off. This lovely, I wish they named it something more subtle than, well, I guess Red Sunset is the actual formal title. Yeah. So that's okay.
Yeah.
Red Sunset. Yeah.
Well, thank you for offering.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
No problem.
I'll think about it. For sure.
All right, we only have a few more minutes. Let's do an insane headline of the day. You ready?
Uh-huh.
Disney wants NYU doctored allergy death suit tossed because of widower's Disney Plus subscription. Did you see this story?
I did.
It's pretty incredible. So this is from the New York Post. Disney is trying to get a wrongful death lawsuit filed by a New York University doctor's grieving husband tossed because he signed up for the Disney Plus streaming service years earlier, court papers said. This dude's last name is Tang Swan. Bereaved widower Jeffrey Piccolo is suing the theme park juggernaut, claiming that she suffered a fatal allergic reaction shortly after eating at a Disney Springs restaurant in Florida last October. But Disney is claiming the $50,000 suit should be removed from the courts because Piccolo agreed to arbitrate all disputes with the company when he first signed up for a 1-month trial of Disney Plus streaming back in 2019.
Yeah, this is one of those things where, like, when I go whitewater rafting and I sign that, like, release of claims or whatever sheet, like that sheet they make you sign before you go to, like, give themselves some
coverage. Yeah.
Yeah. Even when I sign that, I'm like, if I fell out and cracked my head open, I'm probably still gonna, try to get some money for it. And I feel like it would work. This is that but the opposite way. It's Disney going, well, he's signed up on this totally other unrelated but kind of related thing, and it'll probably hold up. Now, the crazy thing is, Disney would know that this would make headlines, which makes me think that they have the best lawyers in the world and know that it's going to hold up.
I think it's likely they settle.
If it's $50,000,
why wouldn't you just do it? $50K?
It's not worth this headline that we're talking about.
First of all, no, it's not even close. It's like this guy's wife or whatever. Yes, his wife dies. His wife dies. And he's like,
Yes.
sons of bitches, I need restitution. I want $50,000. I would ask for $50 million. $50,000? It's Disney. I guess maybe he thought like $50K, surely they'll just throw this my way.
Yeah. So
And I can go
his
stay
wife,
at the, Red Sunset for a few months on that.
his wife died of a severe allergic reaction after eating scallops, onion rings, broccoli, and corn fritters, and she had a nut and dairy allergy. So I guess they were like, oh yeah, there's no nuts and dairy in those things. And then there were. So it seems pretty cut and dry that they should be getting in trouble. The crazy thing to me is Disney has the best lawyers in the world. Like there's no way Disney doesn't have the best lawyers in the world. And the fact that they would use this as a defense for $50,000 makes me think they're probably right. There probably is something right here. They would never have done this if they weren't going to win it.
I mean,
but it's not now. It's like such bad PR.
Dude, it's just nuts that when you sign up for a free Disney Plus 1 month trial period, included in this deal is that you'll never sue them or that, whatever, you'll do arbitration or whatever. Like that's bonkers. And for all
you mean you don't read all those?
No,
yeah,
nobody reads all
Every
these.
time I sign up for anything, I have to block off 48 hours of my life to make sure I read through all the terms and conditions.
I wonder how intense the Red Sunset terms and conditions are, because there's a lot of things you could die from in that place. Like,
we will not be responsible
for people left in the cage, stuff like that.
Ramsey Bolton cuts off your sausage while you're flayed. Yeah, I feel very bad for this man, and this seems like
it sucks.
This seems like it's just like, hey, this guy's wife died. Maybe don't say it's his fault that he can't sue her because he got a 1 month. This is the worst ad for Disney Plus I've ever seen.
It's not a good one. It's not a good look. They should have just thrown this dude $50,000 and gotten him to sign something that says he'll never talk about this again, because frankly,
and give him free Disney Plus.
It does sound like it was probably this theme park restaurant's mistake that killed this woman, and then also dragging Disney Plus into the situation. It's pretty ugly, Jared. We only have a couple of minutes left, so what else do you want to talk about or say to the people before this thing cuts you off?
Go follow me everywhere at Formula Bone, please. Thank you. I make a lot of sourdough. Sometimes I post about it on at Jared Borislow. If you're a sourdough aficionado,
I've seen one sourdough post. You've done like one sourdough post in 6 months.
But I want people to start preparing for more.
Okay. Okay, fair enough.
Considering starting up a little bit of a micro bakery up here, going to some farmers markets and selling it. I just love sourdough. It's great. Shout out to my yeast. Not that kind. And Ross, it's been great to talk to you. It's been great to catch up. We should do this more. It's great to talk to the RBP gang once again. I hope you're all doing well. Nice to check in with you. I hope you're getting through this summer and it's going great and you're not getting poison ivy all over yourself.
Yeah, no, this was nice, Jared. It was good seeing your face again. I'm really looking forward to our getaway at Red Sunset. That's going to be
okay. Didn't agree, but
that's going to be a lot of fun, man. I think, we head out there when, like you said, we hit winter and like you can't even really do shit in Wisconsin because it's just covered in snow. So we head down to Broken Bow, City of Lovers, world renowned, and we we let loose, get a little weird at the fucking.
You're gonna break my bow. You're gonna blow my bow out.
It's gonna be a red sunset after I splatter your insides all. I don't know. I just can't stop looking at the photos of this place. I can't wait to see you and put your tight little ass on that milking table.
Oh, where's HR when you need them? I think you're HR.
We don't have one. This is exactly why. Because otherwise, this segment would have been shot down.
My ass is still tight and little, so you're missing out.
Jared Borislow, ladies and gentlemen. J-Bone, have yourself a wonderful day.
J-Bone!
All right, that was Jared Borislow, host of Formula Bone, the best American-made F1 content in the world, coming from Formula Bone. You can find it at Formula Bone on all the social media platforms, and subscribe to Jared's show to watch in full video on youtube.com/@FormulaBone. Formula Bone is also available on all the audio podcast platforms. F1 summer break ends next week with the first race since the break started. And Jared will give you all the coverage you need. J-Bone, very happy you joined us today. You can also follow Jared at Jared Borislow on Instagram and Twitter, otherwise known as X. I'm Ross Bolin, and I am out of here. It was a quick episode this week with old J-Bone visiting via the power of Zoom, which, because we don't have a subscription anymore, cut us off at 40 minutes, which is sad, very unfair. And I'm on social media, too, at WR Bolin on Instagram and Twitter. Catch me on both, doing stuff and things. We appreciate y'all so much for being here, for listening to our show, for watching on youtube.com/@the-Ross-Bolin-Podcast. Hope you have a great weekend. Please support our sponsors. Tell your friends about what we're doing here at Bolin Media between Formula Bone and Oysters, Clams, and Cockles and Banging the Can and the Ross Bolin Podcast. We've got something for everybody. Until next time, remember, you are not alone. Peace be with you and also with you.